to record us? Jennifer, are you ready?
I'm recording too.
I see recording in progress.
Yeah.
Isn't she live streaming us?
It's not live yet. Let's see. Jen, are you there? I don't see we are live. Oh, yeah, we are live now.
We are. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start.
Hold a second. It just says virtual meeting. So let me see.
All right, you guys can go already.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Jen. Okay. This meeting will come to order. This is Sarah Raskin, co-chair of the West Hartford Human Rights Commission, and I'd like to welcome you to the virtual November 16 meeting of the Commission. Because in-person attendance at public meetings is likely to increase the risk of transmission of COVID-19, this meeting is being conducted in accordance with Governor Lamont's Executive Order Number 7B, which permits municipalities to conduct public meetings virtually. Commission members and some town staff are participating via WebEx. Members of the public can access this meeting by calling 1-408-418-9388 and using access code 173-937-4105. The public can also watch on Comcast Channel 96, Frontier Channel 6099, or www.whctv.org. Because of the virtual format, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover. First, I ask all participants to mute your devices when you are not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you're participating via audio only or I do not call on you and the debate is ending, please unmute your phone and let me know so you can be recognized. Second, pursuant to Executive Order 7B, all speakers must state their name and title before they speak. Third, because of the difficulty in tallying votes on a video conference, we will require that votes be taken by roll. Fourth, when it's time for the public comment portion of the meeting, I will turn the meeting over to the moderator, Pramod, who will announce the first 3 digits of the phone number, and the person who called in with that number can unmute their phone, restate their name, provide their address, and deliver comments or questions. The moderator will proceed until all members of the public who have called in have had an opportunity to speak. We will repeat this process until we have unmuted every phone line. It is very important that you state your name each time you are prompted. If the moderator unmutes a phone line and does not hear a voice, the phone line will be removed from the conference. I will now call the roll, and each council member should state their name and that they are present. Okay. Sorry, just clicking through things. Dawn Ennis.
Present.
Michael Pincus.
Present.
Brian Greenleaf. It's not here. Krishna Adhikari.
Present.
Isam Bore.
I'm here.
Barry Walters. And Adrian Billings-Smith, who is unable to join us today. Okay, so I'm gonna, if it's helpful, I can share the agenda and then we can begin the meeting. And thank you, Dawn Ennis, who is taking minutes for us. Okay. Can everyone see it? See this? Can you see that agenda?
Yes, but it's too small to read.
Ah. Huh. Too small to read.
On the left of your screen, if you're on a computer, you have a few buttons you can actually zoom in and out and make it bigger.
Okay, yeah, I can. I'll zoom it if you want. It's. I'm wondering if there's something else I'm doing wrong, but okay, is that better?
Nope. It looks better. It looks good on my side.
Okay. I don't think, we'll go through it. I will also read what's on here. So the first item of agenda is attendance, which we've already covered. The second item on the agenda is approval of the last meeting minutes. Do we have any discussion of those minutes? Changes, suggestions? Should we vote to approve them?
Yes.
I
Oh, wait.
second.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Who moves that we approve them?
Krishna.
So moved.
Okay, thanks. And we have a second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor, if you can raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, their minutes are passed. The first item under old business is a follow-up on the meeting with Police Chief Riddick. And I know, Barry, you were going to follow up with the Civilian Review Board. I don't know if there's been any movement on that. You're muted, Barry. Barry, are you gone?
There we go. Sorry. with the Barry Walters, co-chair, with the agenda on the screen, my mute button disappeared and I had to figure out where it went. I
I'm going to
apologize.
stop sharing because I don't think it's all that helpful. Go ahead.
I sorry about that. No, to my knowledge, I heard nothing, been told nothing, so I don't think that nothing's happening. I just don't know what it is. I know that sounds very vague, but
Sarah Raskin, co-chair, does that mean that we are or are not going to be part of the process?
as of right now, we are not part of the process.
Sarah Raskin, do you think it's possible to reach out and see, even if we're not part of the process, if we can have an update on what is happening with the process?
Yes, and I meant to do that today, and work got ahead of me because I hadn't heard back on anything. So I will try tomorrow or Wednesday to reach out.
What do other people think?
My question, of course, is why, this is Don Ennis. My question is, why would we not be part of the process? Is there a stated reason why we're not part of the process?
Barry Walters, co-chair. The way that it was left was that the meeting that we were told that we could be a part of was canceled. And there was to be a new meeting scheduled, but in a different format. And we were to be notified when that meeting was to be taking place. I do not know if that meeting's taken place yet. Sarah, have you heard anything on that? No. And that was a few weeks ago.
So yeah, Barry, I appreciate if you can follow up with him.
I'm trying to be diplomatic, Don, so.
This is Don Ennis. I applaud your diplomacy. I think the best way to keep people out of a meeting that you don't want them in is to not tell them when it's been rescheduled, and that solves a problem. I would just like it to be on the record at some point as to why we would not be included.
I agree.
This is Sarah Raskin. So the other meeting that we've been trying to set up is with Superintendent Moore. I've been pretty forgiving about two things. One, that he has a lot on his plate. And two, that our meetings keep getting moved at the last minute. So it's been hard to schedule someone. He wants to come with Rosina, and it's been hard to schedule two other people's schedules when our meeting gets moved. So basically what happens is I tell him our meeting date. He says, oh, there's a Board of Ed meeting that day. I can't make it. I reach out to Cindy and say, we're scheduled against a Board of Ed meeting again. And she says, oh yeah, I have to move you. And then they find a date for us. And then by the time I get back to Tom, he's like, oops, no, can't do that. So I don't blame him wholly. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying it's been hard to get him on the books for being able to come. But I don't want to drop it because I think it's an important issue. Just because I think it's an important issue. And also if Chris Murphy's going to be putting forth federal legislation, I think West Hartford ought to be kind of on board with knowing what that means for us. So I don't know what other people think. This is talking to Superintendent Moore about various issues around race and racial justice within the West Hartford Public Schools, but with a slight focus now on the use of these police officers in their role within the schools and whether that is useful or not useful. I don't know if others have thoughts.
Krishna Adhikari, member. Yeah, I think we have to find their timing better to have a meeting with the superintendent of the schools and then discuss the agenda, that the issues we notice or we discussed before, and what their thoughts are and what are the procedure going on in the school to remove or reduce or eradicate those issues from their side. If not, what we can do further in the next round, we can discuss more about these racial discriminations and the issues of colors and all these things. Because this is the growing agenda and issues now in the society, feeling in our community. That's my few words. Thanks.
This is Don Ennis. As a West Hartford parent and a member of the Human Rights Commission, I think it's important that we push to have the people who keep removing our dates and the superintendent and his team to coordinate so that we can have a meeting. And perhaps we need to find another avenue of scheduling that, since it seems to constantly be tug of war. I don't know if it's that we have to push both sides, or if we should tell the superintendent's office to work out the date so that once they have a date with the coordinator, we can then say, yes, that's worked for us. I think we should not give up.
Sarah Raskin, co-chair, I agree. So our next meeting, I proactively looked up the Board of Ed dates and said, it's a conflict, and so we've moved it now. Although I know that Rabbi Pincus is not able to join us on that date. But I've been reaching out to Tom, and hopefully he will. So our next item of business is the celebration. Thank you, Dawn, for coordinating with West Hartford TV. So it looks like we're going to be able to do the actual date of December 10th, which is very exciting, which is the anniversary of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. No yawning. I have a couple quick questions and some feedback. So I guess first of all, just so everybody knows, we do have Takesha Everett is going to be giving a talk on health and human rights. I don't know if she's coordinated with you yet, Dawn, or not.
This is Don Ennis. The last I communicated with her was the email in which we were CCing. I'm waiting for her to respond. I have not yet scheduled a date with her.
Okay, this is Sarah. Thank you. We also have Mixa Sean Rosie, who spoke last year and played a saxophone last year. He's going to be doing the land acknowledgement. He's a Native American poet and musician who lives in Hartford. And then Voices of the World from Conard is going to give us a musical performance. The Hall High Jazz Band is unable to make anything work. And Mike Pio could not do spoken word, it turned out. Adrian let me know that. So I reached out to Julie Chofel, who's our West Hartford Poet Laureate, and she's thrilled to do a poem for us. Pramod has reached out to Donna, who did a dance for us last year. And he said she could do it, right?
This is Pramod. Yes, so she's gonna make a little video and is gonna send send it to me by the end of this week, and I'll send it over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. This is Sarah. So one of the questions that I have is, oh, and just to tell you, I think about 20 people now have sent in their videos. They're so fun. They're from all over and they're just adorable. So including Tom managed to get his video done. So I was happy to see that. It was very well done. So one question is, what do we want to do about, we talked about this briefly before, like groups that used to table for us that we want people in West Hartford to know exist? Do I just make like a little PowerPoint slideshow with their logo and contact information that I can play as a video at the end of our video? Or are we going to be housed on a website where we could house clickable links of them? So I think, Barry, that's a question for you since you did such an amazing job with Pride and getting all that set up.
Good question. There's two ways that it can be done. One is going to be entirely up to us because Barry Walters, co-chair, sorry, forgot that. One is utilizing Facebook, and we can certainly use that and just do one of several things. We could do regular acknowledgements, maybe one a day, or we could just throw it all up there with links. There's a couple different ways. To do the website, of course, we're going to have to go through the town and through Promote to find a way to house it there on the website, which I imagine wouldn't be difficult. It would just be getting someone to do it.
This is Pramod. Yes, so anything that has to go on the web has to go through Renee McHugh. We had to talk about that. So, I'm not sure if we are thinking about the slider that goes on their website, or even I was thinking about one of the calendar, the compassion calendar we had talked about. Again, I was looking over, maybe we can do something on a it's just not coming to me. Some website, and then maybe give a link to Renee, or because last time we had to talk about it, they could not immerse into their calendar, so we have to create our own calendar. A WordPress, that's the word. We can create a calendar on a WordPress, and maybe that we can put that as a link on from the West Hartford Human Rights Commission page. I think that will be something we can control, and we can put it on there. So it's just coming up with some idea.
Okay, Barry Walters, co-chair. So creating a WordPress is basically creating a website of our own, which I would think would have to be housed within the town.
Yes, so I'm not thinking about the whole website, but just the calendar part of it. You can just create a calendar on a WordPress and then maybe share that from the Human Rights Commission page.
I'm not sure how to do that. So
I mean, we could just do a Google Calendar, right? That would go into the West Hartford page. And then I was thinking, oh, sorry, this is Sarah, co-chair. So I was thinking part of the problem with the Calendar of Compassion was us collecting the information. And if we did a Google Calendar, we could have a Google form that people just threw stuff into. We could monitor it so nothing weird showed up, but we could. Anyway, but that's separate, I think, right, from the idea of what do we do about groups that we want to advertise as doing good work for the event that normally would be sitting at a table. It sounds like maybe I should just do a slide with logo and contact information.
Yeah.
This is Don Ennis. I was thinking you could make a slide that acts like a commercial, interstitial, in between parts of the program, so that people will get a full bang of their buck, for being part of it, and they'll break it up a little bit.
Krishna, were you going to say?
Yeah, Krishna Adhikari, member. Yeah, my thought is that these are the non-profit organizations basically, and they had a display on the last year program. And we want to show them that in this year we could not have them their tables in the program. So if we could create some pictures and a slideshow and during the program period, might be that would be visible in the program and helpful for them to have the people can see they were the part of the program last year and this year they couldn't be presented because of the COVID. So that may be my thought that we could put this some slides and during the program period, one at a time somewhere or in between. That's my thought. Thanks.
Michael Pincus, member. I like Dawn's idea of making it a little more interactive than just a slide. I would invite the groups that came in the past to either give us a 30-second video or a slide that they've made up for themselves and take it off of our plates, and they'll share. You can share whatever they've produced.
Like that.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I think that's a really good idea. And we can always, share even those videos or clips or slides, however they come to us, on Facebook, rather than trying to do a Google Calendar, which is kind of rudimentary. And I'm not sure WordPress what they're talking about, because WordPress is typically a platform in which to build a website, but maybe I don't know everything about WordPress, so maybe there's a way to just do bits and pieces there.
You can, yeah. So sorry, this is
Okay.
yeah. You can just do a calendar.
Okay.
But that's right, Pramod. You're talking about the calendar of compassion, which is something we can worry about after we do the celebration.
Okay.
I'd like to get it up and running, but I think it's unrelated to this.
Got it. Well,
yeah, this is Pramod. Yes, you're right. So that was a whole different thing when I saw it on the agenda. So that so I wanted to add it up. But yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of Herb. I think is if we have the videos and if we can insert those videos of those groups that's coming before they play or before they come into their action, I think that'll be great.
This is Sarah. So we're saying like in between the reading of the articles will come like a little ad for West Hartford Public Library or for I'm blanking on what other groups were there, but all the different nonprofits in West Hartford will get like a little slide, like a 30-second ad, and that'll be interspersed throughout the evening, right? Is that what the suggestion was?
Yeah, this is Krishna. Yes, we can do that, and we can still, when we are opening the program and still not conducting the live program, live program, but we can show them their videos or the slides. So in the beginning and in between too.
Okay, just so I understand what you want, what I need to do.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I would be careful about making them like a classic advertisement type of thing, but something more maybe describing who they are and just why they're something about Human Rights Day or something, and they could also mention maybe what they do, but I'd be careful about making it sound like a commercial. Just because I think we would lose people that way if we're gonna read an article, have a commercial, read an article, have a commercial. It's we can watch TV and get that. So I think we'd want to be careful about that.
So Sarah Ruskin, so I think all I was going to have them do, and you make a good point, all I was going to have, and I don't want it to get long either. If every single one of them did 2 minutes, it would be, I was just going to have them say like what they do and how we get in touch with them. And if somebody wanted to volunteer or support them. So do we want to allow them to do like a video, or do we just want a static page?
This is Don Ennis. I think if we were to give them a script template kind of thing, follow this format, a video would be more interesting than a slide, but I like Rabbi's idea. I just think Barry's great. We don't want to do commercials. I'm thinking more along the lines of a public service announcement. Hi, we're so-and-so. We're doing this. You can reach us at this, and we support human rights or something. Just like a little script template.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I think too, give them a choice between a slide and a video. Some people are not going to want to do a video. And so give them a choice between the two, and that actually will break it up as well so that it's not all the same thing. Just a thought.
Sarah Raskin, co-chair. Dawn, are you volunteering to write a sample script?
Easy speasy, no problem. Sure.
Thank you. So then we can table the calendar of compassion for now, because I think there's a lot to talk about. But Barry, did you follow up with Sherry about the Town of Compassion Awards?
No, I haven't talked to her about that. I've talked to her about a few other things, but not that.
So I'm assuming we're not going to do that as part of this event.
If I can pin her down and yeah, I'm. Let me get back to you on that.
Sarah Raskin, co-chair. It's fine with me if we don't. And she had told me no, and I took no for an answer. So I'm not feeling like we need to push her. I just was going to follow up in case you had talked to her.
No, I have not had a chance to talk to her.
And then one of the other issues around this has been, so do we all want to be as a group together at the crosswalk, or do we want to do individual settings? I know I voted for, I just felt like that we were talking before everyone came on, like Pramod could be in front of the library. I don't know if Rabbi Pincus wants to be in front of the temple, or his place of work or whatever. So I just thought there might be interesting sites in West Hartford that we all could represent. But I'm also not at all opposed and not trying to be pushy that we can't do it the other way. So I wanted to give people here a chance to voice what they thought.
Michael Pincus, member. I think different places will make it a little more exciting and interesting of a presentation.
Myself is a member as well. So I'm leaning more to the group picture, and I don't have a preference for the location, but I have a preference for the group thing. If that makes sense.
Krishna Adhikari, member. My thought is group is more interesting, but at this time, whether we're going to have the walk-in with the mask or take the mask out or the social distancing, it's better to have a group. I prefer that, but how are we going to conduct that group walk-in? If not, it's not possible, then we can have an individual walk-in and make it a slide or the video. And that would be the second option.
This is Don Ennis, member. I agree with Krishna that COVID puts a new spin on this. I would prefer the group if it were not for COVID, but given our necessity to set an example, I think we should do individuals. And I cede the rainbow sidewalk to Barry. I'm sure that's where he wants to be.
We can have more than one there. It doesn't have to be just one.
There's also the option of Barry Walters, co-chair. There's also the option of each one of us taking a photo and doing a little editing with it.
Sarah Raskin, you mean photo or video?
Photo. I mean, we were talking about a group shot.
No, we're talking about doing our readings all together
Oh,
at
the
the same
reading.
place.
Oh, yeah.
I do think we should have a group photo, which we could Photoshop. We could all take a photo it would be kind of cute if it was a bad Photoshop. If we were all at the crosswalk and we just pasted them together, I think that could be fun. I think we should have a group photo somewhere anyway.
I'm seconding that. I like that idea.
Let's try if we can. Krishna Adhikari member. I prefer that area that the group is more interesting, but we have to organize how, when we can conduct that group program.
This is Pramod Pradhan. So we are talking about taking a photograph with a group and then individually doing a video of the reading in each preferred places.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I think I got confused there too because I heard group shot and then, so I apologize. There's also another way to do it in which we pass it off to the next person. So if we wanted to do a reading and then, you know, say Sarah, you know, it's like I read a line and then I say Sarah and you do your line. I mean, it could be kind of fun, could be kind of hokey too. But, you know, that way we're doing it individually, but we're acknowledging other members.
Sarah asking co-chair. Yeah, I mean, except nobody else does that through the rest of the
Right.
video. What if we start with the group shot of us? And I could even put a caption that says West Hartford Human Rights Commission, so people are clear who we are. And then I gave us the first readings. So we would follow immediately from that group shot, from the group photo.
That would be a great idea. If we can, that's a great.
Yeah, don't Ennis, I agree.
And Barry, we actually could, I mean, if you wanted to identify, I don't know, let's think about it. If we wanted to identify each other somehow. All right, let's think about that. I don't think we need to decide that right this second. None of you have gotten me any videos yet, but that's probably because you were waiting to see what we were going to do, right?
Absolutely.
I so appreciate that. Okay, so I think we did website hosting, making the recordings. Dawn, have people been contacting you?
Tamika and Portia. That's it.
Okay,
I'm recording Portia tomorrow morning
great.
at Bristow. And Tamika, I'm waiting to hear from, and anybody else. No one else has reached out. I've checked my spam folder too to make sure that nobody is missed. And if anybody in the committee wants me to videotape them, I'm happy to do that too, free of charge.
Oh, actually, nice idea. Maybe I did mine, but it's not, you know, it's poorly done. I have received a bunch of them, and I'm putting captions on all of them. So every video will have English captions so that both you can understand if people are speaking a language you don't understand, but also so that people who are hearing impaired will be able to read it. And so I was not going to, we have one person signing their portion, but I wasn't going to have a separate ASL interpreter for the whole thing the way we normally do, because I felt like the captions are enough. Do people agree, or should we also get an ASL interpreter?
Krishna Adhikari member. I think caption is enough for the translation. That's
Sarah,
good enough.
I can actually reach out to some folks who are with disability justice groups and just make sure that they feel like that's okay. Okay, so we talked about Superintendent Moore. Adrian is our liaison to the MLK Day event, and unfortunately she's not with us. Does anybody else know if they're planning to do an event or what their thoughts are on that?
I haven't heard anything. Barry Walters, co-chair. I have my computer open. Let me see if there's anything here. Oops, if I spell correctly.
This is Pramod Pradhan. I can definitely check out with Renee and send an email to you. I can check with her tomorrow. Maybe she has some information about that.
This is Sarah. Yeah, if you can let the group know, and Adrian may already know, we just don't know that she knows. The next item on our agenda was the idea of getting all the human rights commissions in the state together. I don't know people's thoughts on timing of when we should do that, how we should do that. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name, Rabbi Pincus, but somebody has gotten some of the names together, and we have some contacts. There's 3 human rights commissions that we've already interacted with quite a bit. Guilford, Farmington, and Bloomfield, but this contact also had, I think there are 10 in the state altogether. I'm happy to help organize it, but just let me know sort of when, how, what people are thinking about.
Michael Pincus member, I think that they're organizing it. My impression was they just wanted us to join them.
Done. Fabulous. Great. So if they would like, I can give them the contacts of the people that we've already been in contact with, because I think what they had done was just list all the town clerks who could probably get them to the right place, but it might be nice, since there are people who've already reached out and said we want to do a meeting across towns.
I think that's a great idea. I think it'd be helpful.
Okay. Good. Any other thoughts about that? Any input that we want to make in terms of what we'd be looking for, what we'd want to put on agenda of such a meeting?
This is Don Ennis, a member. I think one of the things should be how human rights will be addressed in the Biden administration, and how we should hold them accountable, so that, you know, they don't get a free pass.
This is Sarah Raskin, co-chair. Okay, so that's what I have on our agenda. Are there other items that anybody would like to raise? Especially, I'm sort of looking at our new members, especially to see if there are things that you would be interested in the commission doing, or ideas that you have, that so that we don't just kind of steamroll over you with doing things the way we've always done it.
Michael Pincus member, I'm not exactly sure what you've always done.
Fair point. So we have certain events throughout the year that we do. Like our biggest one is this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We also participate in the MLK Day. We've also taken up issues as they come up. So people bring us things that are troubling to them. So for example, the anti-Semitic event that happened at Hall High School now a couple of years ago, the mom and daughter came to us and said, can you help us make some change at Hall High? So we were involved in working with them and the superintendent and the Board of Ed to sort of come up with a plan moving forward that especially the student was comfortable with. We've had people come to talk to us about offensive plaques hanging on the wall in Town Hall that we worked with folks in SE and folks in Town Hall to get them removed. You know, just as things come up, either through the schools or through the town, we were active in having the Board of Ed recognize Indigenous Peoples Day rather than Columbus Day. We were active in the raising of the Pride flag. Barry was very active in that, involved in making that happen through the Human Rights Commission. And now that Adrian's on the committee, I would imagine she'll be wanting to make Juneteenth an annual event, and something that maybe is bigger than it has been before. So those are just the kinds of things that we've been involved in. We've talked about having, Brian had talked about having a hackathon for issues around West Hartford that people in town would like problem solved, and that we could have high school kids come together. It's back in the day when people could be in a room together. You know, we could get the pizza and do a hackathon. We march in the parade. Basically, I think most of what we do is just try to do some, we were involved in the Town of Compassion, getting the Town of Compassion. proclaimed. So I think a lot of what we do is just want to get the word out there that we exist. If people see issues around human rights that they'd like our support. Does that help? Other people can speak.
That's helpful.
Perry
Thank you.
Walters, co-chair. From time to time, like Judy Wyman Kelly will reach out to us and ask about a certain issue, whether we'll support it or not. And we've, generally speaking, stood up for, a number of things. So going forward, obviously things are a little bit different right now. So some of the same issues that have been there in the past are hybridized or changed a little bit. But we have coming up, and I imagine on December or January meeting, we'll be sitting down as we did last year and making up kind of a loose calendar as to what we're going to be looking at for the year ahead. And it'll help set our priorities for what we're going to do. And, generally speaking, everybody throws a bunch of ideas out and we just sort of try to come up with, something that everybody can agree on and get behind 100%, and also do with minimal resources that we have, because we our budget is going to the town and asking for a little money to do this or a little money to do that. It's not, there's currently no written budget for us. We're not a line item. So which is something that perhaps could be put on the next year's to-do list, is to get us added in as a line item. I don't know beyond that what, as we look ahead, we can go through some things now, but I think that would be better served maybe for December or January. And I do want to remind you that come December, I believe it is in December, that we will be looking at new co-chairs and secretary and all that good stuff. So, so there'll already be a little bit of an agenda. The Human Rights Day and the electing new chairs will be on the next agenda. So.
Sarah asking co-chair, yes, elections are definitely up next year. Oh, which reminds me, shoot, I forgot to send you all around. We have to pick dates for the meeting in the next calendar year, which Cindy sent me, and I forgot to send you all. So I'll send it around via email. Basically, I think we do the first Tuesday of every month, except Election Day, except if that happens to be Election Day. But I'll send it around and people can look and see if there's other obvious conflicts with any of those dates. I also forgot one thing that we had done in the past that, so as Barry said, we don't have a budget. So I see us as more supporting people in work that they're doing in ways that we can support them rather than us doing work ourselves. But one of the things that we had done on our Facebook page was every month we had picked something that month commemorated. And then we would post about it on the Facebook page, and I would go and videotape with short little videos someone in town who was working on that issue. So, 1 month was celebrating the aging, and so I talked to Wynn Hunter and some other folks who work with aging populations in town. 1 month was human trafficking, so I talked to Jillian Gilchrist about work she had done with Love 142, or whatever the group is called. So that's something we can pick up again, because we can do that virtual. I don't have to videotape people. We could just do that on Facebook. So in our December meeting, if we want to pick a theme for each month, we can do that again, just as part of trying to get out to people, both that these issues exist and they're real, and also that there are people in town working on them, and that people can come to them if they want to know more, but also just to celebrate what people in town are doing.
Barry Walters, co-chair. Going back to the original question, does that answer it?
It
For
does.
you?
Thank you. It's helpful. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, because, there are times where I sit back and say, what are we doing? And it's a fair question to ask ourselves every once in a while. And to also, those of us who have been on the commission for a while, to remind ourselves of what it is that we have done. Because sometimes it doesn't seem like a lot, but then we actually think about it and it's like, oh, wow, so, thank you for the question, and I hope that it helped you. What else do we have there, Sarah, on the agenda?
Go ahead.
This is Pramod. The calendar that we worked at maybe a year ago, which was, that was an excellent calendar, and also give us a thing to look for what's coming up. I think if we can work that out in our December meeting, and before that meeting, if you can share that calendar with all of us, so maybe if we have folks that can add on to that or be prepared to just share what they think, they can put it on the calendar. And also having Dawn, maybe we can, not pushing things for you, but for interviewing folks that comes on those calendar, I think that would be great. And Dawn can call them on the studio and do some interview with the folks that we have on those calendars for those activities. I think that'll be great.
I'd love to.
Thank you.
This is Dawn. I'd love to. Great idea.
This is Sarah Raskin. There's nothing else on the agenda. If there's nothing else anybody wanted to bring up, do I have someone to move for adjournment?
This is Krishna Adhikari, member. Did we make a decision that how we're going to video record or the group pictures?
No.
No, we did not.
Let's make one decision at least. Either we can do the individual pictures and make a slideshow with the name, and before the program starts, we can give the slideshow that this is the Human Rights Commission members, or we can have one group picture and then we can put in before the meeting the Human Rights Commission will start for the members. And that's my idea. Whichever fits better, we can choose. Thank you.
This is Sarah Raskin, co-chair. So do we each want to just send me a photo of you at the crosswalk and I'll Photoshop them together? Or do we want to meet at some point at the crosswalk and one at a time take pictures in different spots and we can Photoshop them together?
Yeah. Let's make a decision. Either one. Krishna Adhikari, member. Let's make a decision what we can do within this week. Might be that would be the good idea. Yeah.
Did you wanted to share something, Isam?
Assam, I remember. Actually, yeah, I was gonna say, like, if we have a specific way we'd like to take pictures, so it would be easier to have the group one by one. But if there is any specific requirements, I think just everyone go pose on a sidewalk and do it. So, is there any instructions we need to have in our pictures? Because it just would be very weird to have them together in Photoshop. I don't know. I trying to capture it in my mind, and it's not fitting very well.
This is Pramod. I think if we are talking about taking a photo in a group, I think we should meet, and instead of doing a Photoshop, we should, we just stand there with our mask or, or, be there and then choose a spot where we can take a picture, because you may have, the same spot, two people standing in the same spot. So I don't know, maybe.
What if you all just sent me a photo and instead of Photoshopping, I just did like what we see here? Just a collage.
Don,
That's a
I
better
think
idea.
that would be easiest. I think.
Krishna, yeah.
Let's think of easy.
Collage makes more sense.
And if I put Godzilla in with us or something, you guys are cool with that, right?
Plus, I do want my picture with my COVID style.
Yeah. You're looking good.
Yes.
This is Sarah, co-chair. So are we, thank you, Krishna, for pushing us. Are we agreed that are we going to have the same background? Are we going to be at the crosswalk, or is it going to be anywhere, any photo you want?
This is Krishna, remember. Let's make a decision ourselves, and we can just make a pictures whatever we like and send to you, and you put the name on it and make a group.
This
Like
is
this
Dawn.
one.
And
That's
Sarah, can you put out an email to the group for Adrian and whoever else might be missing? I don't know if anyone else is missing. Just so we all know.
Sarah asking, good point. Yes, Brian's also missing.
Great.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I have full access to Canva, so if we wanted to do like some kind of photo montage, or even if you all just got me pictures of you standing, it doesn't matter where, I can remove the background and put in a whole new background if I wanted. I could put our logo behind us for it, all that matters. It just may look like, you know, I put you all in there together. But it's an option.
Sarah,
This is Krishna.
co-chair, thank you, Barry. I love Canva. I have Canva too, and I use it all the time and love it. And if you're offering to do that, thank you.
I can do that. Just give me a picture. It has to be, I think it should be the same picture for everybody. So it's got to, you know, it's basically, I think the easiest thing is to have everybody standing,
Full body.
full body, and that way I can play around with it from there.
How far
Then
from
having some people from waist up and others just a headshot, then it gets a little bit tricky. Then somebody's head's popping out of the bushes or something. So I don't want to do it that way.
Krishna Adhikari member. Hey, thank you, Barry. That's a great idea. Let's have almost make the same size of pictures. Not the same size, but at least a full body and not a huge background. So just covering the body, that will make the size almost closer to the similar pictures. So that will look great. So offering that work as a really, really professional, that's a great idea. Thank you so much.
Yep, no problem. Just
I agree with this idea. Thank you.
is everybody on board with that thought?
I saw him here. So you want us to have a full body picture on the sidewalk?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Doesn't matter.
Anywhere. Okay.
Because I'm gonna go into effects and remove background, so that so whatever's behind you disappears, and then I could put Godzilla in the background if I want.
Please do that. That would be so much fun.
And give us some a haircut while you're at it. Just
I could even do that.
Please. Thank you.
I could also give him like big hair. I could do whatever I want.
If it's a good hairstyle, I'll pay for it and I'll take a copy of it.
I'll give you a pompadour.
Thank you.
So I guess get me the video or the pictures by how quickly can you all get me a picture, a photo? I mean, we need it by the 1st. Is that the date that we were?
How about we say, this is Don Ennis, how about we say this Sunday? That gives
Works for me.
That gives you a full week.
Yep, works for me.
And Don Ennis again, Sarah Raskin, would you send that as an email to Brian and Adrian and everybody? And then someone can move to adjourn.
Sarah Raskin, co-chaired. Barry, we'll be outdoors? I'm just thinking if some of us are like bundled up and others of us are in t-shirts.
Good point. You know what? Let's go with indoors. That way you presumably won't need your mask. And you won't need to bundle up in a whole bunch of extra clothes.
Excellent. Sarah Raskin, co-chair. Do I have someone to move to adjourn?
I moved.
I second.
All in favor?
I
Hi.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? All right. Thank you all. Excellent meeting. It's exactly 8 o'clock.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. Good night.
Night.